All right, we are streaming. Is it gonna show up on here? It's a black screen. It's not good. 5 seconds in and it's still a black screen. Did I not select the right thing? There we go, now we got stuff. Does it have sound? It does, sweet. All right, so this isn't monetized, so I think I can play whatever music I want. I usually jam out to like Halo Reach music or random EDM dubstep sets from festivals while I code. But I am about to continue working on an extension I'm building to block the promoted ads on Reddit, or promoted posts on Reddit, just because I hate ads and my ad blocker extension doesn't block them, and I need to build something outside of work. So this is what we're going with. So let me pull up my code and show you what I've got so far here. I've built this off of the bones of one of my other extensions. I've got a get page images ad. Like if you click this, it gets all of the images on the page, and you can click whatever image is on there and it will download it to your computer for you. Just to make it easier to download images. One of the designers I used to work with always had to come ask me to get images for him, and I'd like inspect the page, find the image URL in the code, and have to download it and send it to him. But with this, you can just click on the image and download it. So it makes it way easier, but I'm building it off the bones of that extension. It's called Get Page Images. If you want to check that out in the Chrome app web store, whatever, extension store, or that link is also on my GitHub. If you have any suggestions on how to improve that, or you want to contribute to that, feel free to. I'm also using Midjourney on Reddit to try and come up with, or Midjourney on Discord to try and come up with some logo for it. I've got one that I like. I like this one. The contrast on it's just not high enough. I need to adjust the color, which I guess I could probably do that in Photoshop. But I kind of like this because it's like you're looking through the post, and then this is like the filtered post, and we don't show it. So, meh. But, yeah. Let's see. What errors do we have here? So, right, what I've got so far. We've basically got the manifest JSON. This is what Chrome uses to know what to do with your extension. Manifest version 3, I believe, is the latest one. The name, it's kind of obvious, that's the name of the extension. I'm going to do a more detailed, in-depth video on how to build an extension from start to finish. This is just kind of because I haven't done a video this week and I need to put something out. Finished work up already. I mean, I usually start at like 6:30 in the morning. So, nah. Yeah, I'm going to do a more in-depth one later. I just have not had time to edit a video or put out a video, so I'm going to live stream the rest of this. Anyway, yeah, description, version, it's kind of obvious. The Arthur, this is like the LLC or the company I have set up to build my extensions under. The icons are the different icons for the places on Chrome, like this here. So that's where the logo would show up. And content scripts, so that's specific to this one. We want the script to run on the page we're on, so we're using content scripts, and that allows, if the user is on a page that matches one of these URLs, our script is going to run. And then we've got action. This is just kind of when they click on your extension icon, what happens. Like when we click on this, what happens? If it's the Get Page Images one, it gets all the images, opens a new tab, shows all the images, and allows you to download them or change the color scheme or whatever. For ours, we're not really going to care about that because we want this to work by default whenever the page loads on a Reddit URL. We want to just display none, anything that has promoted in it. And then permissions, that's just the permissions your plugin or extension needs to work, basically. We're just using active tab because we need to be able to see their active tab, and then scripting, which is what we need to use content scripts. License, that's just license. We're going to close that. The HTML I'm probably going to delete. I don't think we actually need that because we're not opening a new tab or anything. On my Get Page Images plugin, we need that because we open a new tab and we need stuff, and like we need HTML to tell it how to organize this, right? But on this one, we're not going to need that, so I'm probably going to end up just deleting that index HTML. Changelog, obviously it's changelog. But this is what we've got so far as code. Not a whole lot. I actually even need to rename this function because that's just the function I was using on the other extension. But we're getting all of the images. The way I'm selecting them, all of the posts have a data attribute called add_click_location, and those, specifically the ones we want, have background as the value. Let's go into Reddit and inspect this and look at that. So this is a post. Let me inspect one that's not promoted. There we go. So this is a post as well. This is a post. I don't know if you can tell, there's a big difference between the one that's promoted and the one that's not promoted. And that's what we're going to use to know if it's promoted or not. Because when we console log the elements, if we actually look at the non-promoted one, this one, right? It's got a class. This one has a class, but they use dynamic classes, so we can't really use classes to identify promoted ones. They've both got IDs. They've both got data test ID. We're using data.add_click_location to select elements because we don't want to just grab everything on the page. We want to grab ones that are specifically posts, and that seems to be pretty consistent on posts. So we're going to use that to grab all the posts, and then we are going to, since all of the promoted ones seem to have, this is not promoted, this is not promoted, that's not promoted, this isn't promoted. So promoted ones have an ID attribute that is super long and a class attribute that is super long. So we're just going to look at the length of their ID attribute, and if it's more than, what, 25 characters? Because most of the non-promoted ones are like 10, 15, something like that. So if ID is longer than 25 characters, then we know that's promoted, and theoretically we can just hide that, right? My bit rate is low. Hope that's not making my thing lag. No, well. Right, so in here, yeah, that's what we're using. We're grabbing all of those elements, and then for each element, we're going to say if element ID length is over 50, then we're going to hide that element. Right now, I'm just console logging it to make sure that I'm actually getting all of the elements I want out. So let's inspect this, go to console log, and we can see that we've got this ID that is very long. So that is our promoted one. Another thing that's important to note that I've been forgetting a lot every time I develop extensions is when you're developing an extension, it does not hot reload. You need to go to the extensions and click update to update your extension. Or press this refresh button. Otherwise your code does not update, and I've gone through 5, 10, 15 minutes of time where I have made changes and I'm trying to figure out why my extension's not working, and it's because I haven't gone and refreshed it. I'm just so used to hot reloads. But we have the promoted element now, so now we just need to do element dot style, or yeah, style, and then set display equal to none. We don't need to const that. We're going to change the name of this to hide promoted posts, and then we'll just copy that down here where it's getting invoked. And then theoretically, if we refresh this, why are there errors? Element ID length is not a function. Can I not? I thought I could use length. I'm not invoking length, right? Element.id is of type string, and if I do dot length, that works. So why does it not work when I use it on ID? That's interesting. Because if we just console log elements.id, we're gonna just comment that out for a second, save, and then hopefully my music's not too loud. We'll switch to Halo pianos. I'll turn that up and then just turn down my system overall volume. There you go. I apologize for my stuffy nose if that's annoying to anybody who watches this. All right, so where were we? We're gonna go to Reddit. We're gonna refresh. We're gonna inspect this and look at the console here. And I didn't refresh the extension, did I? We're gonna clear that and update. There you go. Sometimes you have to clear the error, or it won't go away on refresh. It'll persist. So we refresh this, and again we're gonna inspect this. Look in the console, and we can see that we console logged a bunch of IDs. I don't know why. I guess those empty ones just don't have IDs, right? But this one, if we, right, they're all strings. But then if we do dot length and go to extensions, update, cool, we're gonna refresh this. Is it gonna work now? All right, cool, looks like it's gonna work now. That's odd. And then we're gonna go back here. We will just uncomment this stuff out again. And save, go here, back to extensions, update our code, no errors, okay, cool. Refresh, and then the promoted ad should be gone. Okay, cool. So we saw when it was loading, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a promoted ad here. And then I'm imagining if we inspect this, I'm gonna pull this over to the side here. Where is that post? Okay, that's the posts. That's the first one. The second one has a height of 0 because the display is set to none. Right? Yeah, sweet. We got our display none. And then the remaining ones continue or persist. So now if we start scrolling down, the next issue we need to solve is this lazy loads, or not lazy loads, this has infinite scroll, right? So as we scroll down, if we look at the scroll bar here, it's eventually going to, there we go. Yeah, it loaded more, but we had to get all the way to the bottom. Interesting. So now I need to figure out how to make this run every time we load more posts, which is where I think I might have to change how my manifest is organized, because there is this run scripts on every page, and with this, hold on, I have to trigger Midjourney to generate more potential logos real quick. But yeah, with this one, I believe this is only going to be allowed to run once on every page. I might need to add some event listener to test that. But then there's also handle events with service workers, and I think this one might be able to, I might be able to get this to a service worker to work every time it loads more posts. But could I make an event to listen for API calls? Is that a thing? Can you do that? You can only listen for events on the DOM, right? How to listen on all fetch API calls? Is that a thing? I don't recommend to modify native objects and functions, blah, blah, blah. This isn't like my usual streams where I know 100% what I'm doing. This one I'm gonna have to Google a little bit of stuff. I do use ChatGPT a lot, but where'd my music go? Is it over? I don't like that third one. We might listen to something else here. I have to stay on my self.dev channel. I've got like 3 channels. Ooh, Cosmic Banjo. I've been listening to this a lot too. It's like AI generated image, and then there's just like banjo music. It's pretty good. What happens here? Has this just been running the whole time? Does it continually make GPL or GraphQL requests for it? We're gonna put this back on the side here, and then as we, or actually, I guess, is it finished? It's still loading stuff. Jeez. All right, looks like it's done. Now, as we scroll down, eventually, was that loading more? Maybe not on the side. Maybe on the bottom. We need to see this whole thing. It's doing GQL. GraphQL requests. As we scroll down, do we get more? Okay, so the graphql.reddit.com requests is what is getting more data. What is the payload here? Events, staggered, variables. What is reports, I wonder? Hope this isn't against their terms of service. About to get banned from Reddit. Hold on, let me ask the all-powerful AI here. Or maybe, actually, if I look, what if I had this running? I'm thinking maybe if I can measure how far down the user is, or yeah, and then if the length of the page changes, like it is now, then I rerun that hide promoted ads function. Would that work? God, these logos are getting worse. Actually, that one's not too bad. What about this top left one here? I might use that. I don't like the, let's get the variance of 1. Because that one looks pretty good. But yeah, I feel like I need to keep track of, I mean, I would need to keep track of that like state somehow and then trigger, because I'm using vanilla JavaScript and not React. So, oh God, those look horrible. I don't know, maybe that top left one. Let me open this in the browser over here so we can look at that in a little bit more detail. Yeah, I kind of like that top left one. This one, the color, I wish the colors were more consistent on these sides here. I guess I could probably change that in Photoshop though. I think one of those is probably it. Yeah, I'm gonna upscale that first one and then I'll do that in Photoshop later. Alright, so how are we, I need to stand up because I'm not in my camera frame if I'm not standing up. How are we gonna rerun our function? I can go and delete that index.html. I'm not gonna need that. Probably not gonna need, I doubt I'll need styles. I don't think I'd need that for any reason. If I just used set interval and run it every, I don't really want to use set interval and run it every X number of seconds, because what if they are scrolling down, it runs, and then they continue scrolling down. I'm putting everything on Reddit I'm subscribed to out there. And more load, like this, right? They'd still see it while they're waiting for that next 5-second interval to pass for this to run again. Detect document height change, because that would work. Resize observer is a one. I am not familiar with that. That would be perfect though. So we could do resized observer. Now, can I use that in an extension? Is the question. Because there's some stuff you can't do in extensions for security and or privacy reasons. Click anywhere to change the height. We don't need that. I don't think I have access to the window from what I read in here. Do I? Maybe I do, actually. Okay. Let me just double check that. I guess we can just copy this and throw it in there. Copy that, throw that in our hide promoted post function. Body height changes. So document.body. Is that what changes? We're gonna comment that out for now because we don't want our part to run. We'll go here and we will refresh our extension and then look in here again. Console log. Body height changed. Body height still changing. Is it loading more? It's still loading stuff, huh? Cool. And then as we scroll down, does body height change again? It does. It keeps going up as it lazy loads more. That might be it. Okay, cool. So we can just, on that change, run our function to hide the promoted post again. So I guess this part doesn't necessarily need to be inside of that function body, right? That's a function. If we do that, does that? We don't need to create an. We don't need the comments. Is that all we need for our function? Okay, now if we scroll up to the top and refresh, we need to refresh our extension too. So update that, and then we'll refresh this. Cool. So we should scroll down and expect no promoted posts to pop up. Not seeing promoted. I definitely thought I was gonna have to rework this more. Okay, it loaded more. Now, are any of them promoted? I guess I can just control F for promoted. Sweet, no promoted. Let's go down more. And then try and find promo. No promo. So it is hiding all the promoted things. So our extension works. Sweet. Boom! That was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm probably going to do the same thing and post one for Quora. So, because I was it Quora or Stack Overflow? I forget which. I was looking at something this morning. And there were promoted posts on it, and I did not like that. So I'm probably going to make one for that as well. I don't need entries in there, I guess. Boo. So now I just need to update my image, and then pack this, or update the README, pack this up, and then I can put it on the Chrome store. Sweet. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be. How long did this take? How long have we been streaming for? 23 minutes? Okay, cool. I built that. What, probably an hour in total, I guess, is how much time I spent on that. Cool. Well, yeah, if you want to, like I said, I've got another Chrome extension out there, get page images. I'll link that in the description of this video. I will probably put the link to the GitHub repo in there as well if you want to go check that out. If you've got any feedback, suggestions, comments, anything like that, let me know. If you want to help improve any of the extensions, go to the repos and make a PR for whatever you think we need to improve on them. That's about it for this one, so I will catch you guys later. Peace.